Namaste, everyone. This is going to be a meditation for opening up your arc line. So, we are going to dive right into it. So, the arc line from earlobe to earlobe, both men and women have this. And for women, we have an additional arc line, which is from nibble to nibble. It's called the heart frequency. And women, we have a stronger heart frequency than men. The prayer of the woman is one of the most powerful prayers on planet Earth. Within our arc line, as women from nibble to nibble, we carry the epigenetic coding of 14 generations, which is 32,766 people, right? Particularly, we carry the epigenetic coding of women within this arc line. So, in the patriarchal paradigm, basically, we were programmed, trained to believe that it is the legacy of the man, right? So, the last name, right? Usually, the last name of the children are the men, right? And the king and the monarch sort of mindset, the men are the ones that carry the knowledge through the generation, but it is the woman, right? It is the woman that carries the Akashic record of not just the privilege of the particular generation, which monarch was very much about carrying the privilege of the generations, hoarding, right? Hoarding the privilege of the generation and passing it down. The woman, they carry the lineage of the Akashic record, right? Which is very much about esoterics, right? It's about community well-being. It's about manifestation. It's about wealth and richness, not just of tangible privilege, but also of soulful privilege, right? Of karma and dharma and how that really propels somebody into a creative destiny or into what we know as a karmic fate. Karmic fate. Creative destiny, karmic fate, right? So we as women, we have very much neglected our lineage of women, right? Because most of us women, we are very disconnected from women. We take on that aggressive competition that men have. Competition for men actually it is how they grow, but aggressive competition is how they belittle and shame and attack each other. And we know in that the monarch, every man was attacking each other for land, right? So we as women have very much been trained to basically obey that sort of patriarchal paradigm, and if we didn't obey, we were kid we were stoned. Basically, we were heavily criticized, we were shamed as women, right? Basically, our woman livelihood was just stripped from us if we were disobedient to the patriarchal paradigm, which was very much aggressive when it came to competition, right? Competition, as we know, in dance competition, competition in the form of even soccer, it puts a lot of pressure, right? But when that pressure is used aggressively, that's for destruction, right? When the pressure is used for ingenuity, that pressure is for evolution. So, in the patriarchal time, that aggressive pressure was used to basically deconstruct, right? The livelihood of the common people, the shaming, the belittling, the, hanging people on the cross and spitting on them, these kinds of things, right? That is for destruction, right? We were at trying, we wanted to destroy each other's character, identity, and livelihood, right? Especially in this monarchical uh, attitude. Now, with the arc line of the woman, right? The arc line of the woman, just like the breast of the woman, the milk, right, of the woman, it's considered that we think of milk and honey, right? Milk and honey is basically it means the wealth of the universe, right? So milk and honey, right? Milk and honey. It was, in many cultures beside, this Western culture, honey is considered it's privilege to have honey. We know in the U.S. Western culture, we can just go to the supermarket and get some honey, right? But in a lot of other cultures that it's not easily accessible to have honey on a shelf. Honey is considered like a privilege, right? It's almost like considered like a holy sort of like miracle, right? And milk as well, right? Milk is considered fruitful, right? It bears fruit. When we think of milk, we think of it bears fruit, such as children, and bears fruit for us, right? It gives us good fortune. So milk and honey for the woman is seen about she's very privileged to be very beautiful, and not just privileged in the material sense where she has all this attachment to the earthbound. She's very privileged because she has access to celestial realms, and she can communicate to celestial realms, and she can receive messages, guidance, and as well as she's very much artistry. And artistry is the basic seed for life, which is creativity, right? Artistry, before we got politics, artistry is right below it, right? Politics, it shifts, this tilt of politics shifts with the artistry of the general populace. And we know that artistry constantly evolves, right? And it has a major influence on the political sort of formation. So women represent within the woman's arc line. She has like a mandala, and that mandala is how I see it, right? And that mandala, like when you think of Himalayan monks, say there's maybe a couple dozen of them, and they spend all hours of day just making this mandala out of sand, right? And it's like hours upon hours upon hours of like these little colorful sands, and they just put it all together, and it's a big mandala. And what happens when they finish is they completely just excitedly, playfully just go across it, all the sand, the hard work, right, the precision, the dedication is all just kind of, it all goes away, right? And then they put the sand into the river, right? So it's symbolic for creation is a work of art, right? And a work of art is not an attachment, right? It is a participation, it is an enjoyment, it is an experience to be had, and for it to transform, right, into something else. So very, very exciting. But we all have mandalas, as women particularly. Men, again, men don't have this arc line from nibble to nibble, so they don't have this prominent heart frequency of the ancestral DNA within this the space. But we as women do, right? The milk and honey. So with us in the mandala, this mandala has been carved out and has been created for, we can say, for 14 generations epigenetically by all of these women who have put in their imprint, right? Just like a couple dozen monks working on this mandala, they all kind of contribute. They work on their own section of the mandala, right? Some are working on this kind of this design, right? Another's working on this sort of design and this sort of geometric pattern, while another's working on a different geometric pattern. But when you look at the bigger view, it all comes together as this geometric sort of fractal energy, where it's like pattern within pattern. And as women, that's what we do, right? We do that, and we carry that, all called the ancestral council. The women accounts are basically in this arc line of 14 generations, right? Very strongly. But not only 14 generations, the influence and the impact, the wave of these women is even far beyond that. But these 14 generations really heavily sort of are impacting us, meaning the wave is still like an echo can still be heard, even if it's faintly, right? But even if we can't hear the echo of like thousands and thousands of years in the past, doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean the vibration isn't there. It just means the echo is carried through time and space, a very long sort of time and space, right? So, right, the echo of the Himalayan mountains, right? I live in the US, right? The echo, right? If I lived in like a, say 20-mile radius, I could be able to kind of feel the resonance of it. But living here, since I'm vast, big distance, I can't hear. But it doesn't mean the echo's not there. It just means that I it's a long distance. So for me, the echo of my Saudi Arabian lineage, again, long and long, the echo is very faint. I can't necessarily hear it, but the vibration is very, very prevalent, right? Very, very prevalent in the Akashic record of this arc line that I carry, right? So we as women, we carry the knowledge, right? When we think of the Akashic record, we think of knowledge of the women, right? And we haven't been tapping into this because we've been afraid to tap into this as women, because we were it's been difficult, right, in this monarchical sort of attack on everything, right? So with this meditation for men and women, it is to really open up the arc line. And the arc line, I always see it either you're a man or a woman. It's your Akashic record. It's your Akashic accord, right? It's where you get your talents and gifts. You pull it from there. Think of it like a halo or a rainbow. It represents, this is where you get your talents and gifts from. So people, not everybody's born with an arc line, from ear to ear, right? It just all depends on their incarnational history, right? But women, we all have this arc line from nibble to nibble. Now it can be underdeveloped, it can be so thin, so brittle, and it can be so faint, like a faint heartbeat, right? A faint Akashic record, sort of. Think of it like a library. If you don't take care of it maintenance wise, right, the library kind of gets dusty, right? And then sometimes it's not as shiny or refined or up to date, right? If you just leave it there for a long period of time, right? So, but this is kind of a tool to refine, right, our own inner library of not only our ancestral lineage, but also of the arc line of, called the halo or the rainbow, right above the head, which has to do with celestial. We're talking about Akashic records that shaman connects with, right? A giant library that you can literally pull from, like Edgar Cayce, knowledge regarding multiple subjects on planet and off planet. Um, and it's very much for artistry, right? Artistry is about innovation and it's about originality. And artistry, in order to cultivate a higher creative level, you do have to have innovation and originality, right? And that's artistry. That's what we call the evolution, right? Evolution is about taking an innovative, imaginative, original idea and feeding it into this planet, and seeing it interact with what is already existing on this planet, all the the beliefs and everything that's already here, and seeing how it starts to dilute and also starts to influence, right? It's artistry. It influences what is. So all light workers, all artistic, right, beings are very much, we are cultivating an original thought form, innovative thought form, because we're wanting to interact that with what's going on here to create what we call a shift, right? A shift in consciousness, or sort to alter or to refashion, right? So this is kind of what this meditation is for. So first thing we're going to do is you're going to have your fingers touching, so middle finger, ring finger, right? And you're going to have them touching like this. So when they touch, you see like there's like a little space like a hole. Like, can you see? There's like a little hole in between. It looks like a sort of like a diamond or kind of like a square, right? Uh, and then you're gonna have your thumb out like this, and then you're gonna kind of bring it down, like right here, kind of towards the index finger, kind of on the index finger, the fleshy mound. So you're gonna have it here, kind of um, right at your nose level, right? So kind of see that kind of like here, and then I kind of come out. And I'm just going to look right through that hole, and I'm going to imagine looking through that hole. It's like I'm looking through a mandala, a fractal mandala, and I'm just kind of looking through this fractal mandala, like looking into a rose and seeing how this rose, it keeps unfolding and unfolding petals that never seem to reach a conclusion. Long deep breathing through the nose. So see you like through this hole in the between the touch of both middle finger and ring finger. Really see like you're looking through a pee hole and you're looking out into the universe. What do you see? Like you're looking into the space or the constellations through like a telescope, and you're seeing how the mandalas, the fractals, the grids of this universe, and you're looking through a pee hole, and you're getting to kind of bring it into you. Like literally see it kind of coming, beaming into your third eye, like the heat of your palms, they're kind of radiating heat onto your face, and feel that the cosmos is penetrating your third eye. There's a lot of pressure on your third eye, so feel like create an actual pressure with the heat in the of your palms on your face. Create a pressure on your third eye. So again, actually rise the hands up until that little hole is like literally like the third eye. So I put that hole and then I kind of bring it out. So like about 12 inches, and then I just look through. So it's almost like I'm beaming out my third eye through this hole in between my fingertips, touching and looking out into the universe, and just seeing whatever it is I need to see, knowledge I need to gather around me to help me uh, rise into a creative destiny and balance out the karmic fate. Right, we're all dealing with karmic fate, all of us. The karmic fate has to do with the cause and effect of our malnourished behaviors, attitude, actions that are based off of poverty, that are based off of hierarchical repression, based off of religious oppression, as well as based off of indebted society that was created in the patriarchal age as a great restriction, limitation, and barrier between human and its divine right to be happy and to be prosperous. So we all have thick layers of this patriarchal sort of um, um, aggression, right? Where we are attacked for our dreams, or we feel unworthy or too weak to actually pursue our dreams. So we feel like we're kind of like, okay, then if I'm attacked for pursuing my dreams, and if I am too weak or unworthy to pursue my dreams, I'm kind of like in a limbo. I don't really know what to do. So really open up that chest. Don't let that chest sink. So I have my chest wide open. Like my heart chakra is wide open. Kind of hurts because it's the energy. So really focus your eyes. Focus into that hole. Like that hole is bringing you to the universe, and you're like, whoa. Make sure your arms are not like this. Make sure they're kind of out like this. So if they want to fall like this, kind of bring them out like an angle, because we're creating an angle. So it's kind of like when you look, it almost feels like a triangle from the top of your fingers all the way to your elbows, all the way from elbow to elbow. It kind of looks like a triangle. So really create that angle, because you're creating that in the electromagnetic field of your heart in connection with your third eye. So from your third eye to nibble, right? Or from your third eye to elbow, it should feel like some sort of triangle that you're creating, right? That angle. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, you're going to have your hands out like this. Kind of like what is this? Star Wars, right? You're going to have it face like this. Kind of like behind you, and what we're doing is we're correcting the past and the misappropriation of the past, which is the past, whatever it is, right? We're misappropriating the past, and then we're misappropriating our future, our present, and then our future begins to recalibrate to whatever it is that we are misunderstanding, right? So so we're gonna just open the chest, right? Roll the shoulders back, open the heart frequency, and just kind of like let it sit here. And again, keep feeling. Your eyes are gonna be closed. You're gonna keep seeing through your third eye, like literally, you're still looking through your hands. And you're looking through that little hole in between the fingertips of the middle and the ring. So this is that kind of like opening of the energy. It's a we're opening up energy in the subtle body, right? The subtle body is about celestial communication. It's about celestial travel. When we travel astrally, it's through the subtle body. When we telepathically communicate, it's through the subtle body, right? When we are sensing other people, it's through the subtle body. When we talk about empathy, or when we talk about deceased loved ones or guides, spirit guides, usually it's through the subtle body that they give us a transmission. And then it begins to soak up into the soul body, the radiant body, and then it starts to begin to project and broadcast through the mind, the positive, neutral, and negative mind. So, as well as through the body and through the emotions. So the subtle body is kind of think of it like our subtle body's constantly flying, right? In shamanism, the subtle body is constantly flying through realms to gather knowledge. So a shaman actually is a chameleon in the way that they're here in their physical body, but their mind is simultaneously traveling through other realms and having conversations or gathering knowledge from realms of ancestral past and from, you could say, a higher future, and also through dimensions of the present where there is some sort of interactions with other planetary systems and other beings that have some sort of information. So your subtle body, think of it as very, very expansive, like your auric body. Your auric body can go to 18 miles in all directions, but your subtle body can go even further than that. Your subtle body can actually go much further than 18 miles. Right. So just long, deep breathing, tuck in that chin. Really focus through your third eye. Literally, you're healing your past and the misappropriation of your past by placing your palms towards the back. Towards the back, your back. You're clearing up this misappropriation. Also, you're healing through the ancestral kind of hiccup. Right? The hiccup is about... it's about some sort of agitation that happens within our family tree, right? That's a hiccup, or it's kind of a delay, right? A delay in speech or a disruption. Okay, inhale. Press the tongue on the upper palate. Really squeeze the lower lock, the chin lock. Exhale. Now, kind of relax the hands. Whew. So you're gonna place you're gonna have So you're gonna still have this kind of Star Wars, right? But you're gonna have your thumb out. You're gonna place, so this is kind of like on your temple. So the pointer in the middle are in the temple, right? And then the middle finger and the middle finger and the ring kind of come at the edge of the eyebrow, not touching, right? So it kind of looks very, very sort of. You get this feeling of indigenous when you do this posture. You get the feeling of like indigenous person, right? When I think of indigenous, I think of sometimes of like Egyptian sort of culture, right? Of artistic, like light language, right? Think of like light language. And then you're going to place your thumbs right here on the thumb, right? So again, feels very, 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 so right here in the thumb. The thumb is the moon mound, right? So you're kind of massaging your moon. And you're going to listen to the heartbeat through your temples, or not listen, but you're going to feel as well as listen to the heartbeat through your temples. So I can feel my heartbeat through my temples. And just really allow allow your third eye is going to have pressure, right? Let the pressure be on your third eye. Don't fear the pressure on your third eye. Let the pressure be there. And like long deep breathing. So when I say long deep, I say count to 8 in the inhale and count to 8 on the exhale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Or I'd like to do a mantra, so I do Satanama, Satanama on the inhale. I hold for about 2 seconds, and then on the exhale, Satanama, Satanama. I hold on the exhale for 2 seconds, and then I repeat. And then I press my tongue on the upper palate. Close your eyes and really drop. And pay attention to your elbows. Make sure they're out. See, again, you look and you feel this triangle from your face, the third eye. The triangle from the third eye, the fingertips, all the way to the elbows, and then elbow to elbow. It's the triangle energy you're putting at the heart. Inhale. Hold the breath, squeeze the root lock, the chin lock. Press the tongue on the upper palate. Sip of more air through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Hold. Root lock, chin lock, tongue on the upper palate, squeeze. Exhale. Open up the face. Definitely you'll see it. Have your hands on Gyan Mudra on your knees. Kind of feel the adjustment that you're having. So we're gonna have our left hand on our navel like this, right? Kind of like an angle down, right? So my fingers are kind of going down, and then I'm gonna have my right hand, right? I'm gonna have it angled like this, right? Here at my kind of throat, like I'm grabbing my throat, but I'm coming out. I'm gonna look at the tip of the nose, and I'm gonna just kind of go like out. So it's literally facing behind me and then kind of towards the throat, out. Looking at the tip of the nose. Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Niname, Kame. So what we're doing is we're clutching. A lot of people have this cloak around their throat chakra. In this heavy duty, we all have these dark cloaks, like chains around our throat chakra. A lot of our throat chakra has been obliterated in this sort of patriarchal age, this monarch sort of lineage. So what that means is we don't know how to express ourselves, or we express ourselves aggressively. That creates destruction, right? We don't know how to articulate our heart or our feelings or our intellect in a very appropriate and understanding way. Usually it's very aggressive, or usually it's very, it has no impact, right? So this is going to help us to kind of clear out any sort of funky, weird throat chakra thing, this cloak, this black energy that a lot of us have that's really blocking the flow. Like literally it's like our head's chopped off from our body, where we're functioning either just from our lower chakras, which is about survival and profit or sex and money, or we're just surviving through our head, which is about mind games, right? It's like our head's chopped off from our body, so we're functioning either from this head or from this navel. So we want to repair this throat, this thyroid, this parathyroid, and the chakra itself, really take out that black energy so that we can have some more cohesion and more connection when it comes to the mind, and when it comes to the navel, when it comes to visualization, it comes to the practical. Because a lot of us, we don't know how to express, we don't know how to articulate, we don't know how to say I'm sorry, we don't know how to say I forgive, we don't know how to like just move the energy of what needs to be said or what needs to be expressed so that we can be done with it, so we can move on. We kind of let it linger, we let it hang out, and then we create this cloak around our throat, and then some people carry this cloak for decades, right? Or for lifetimes of their shame, right? Or their lack of authenticity. Because when your throat chakra is clogged, it means that you feel ashamed, you don't feel like you're not authentic, right? And you feel you don't trust yourself. So when people have this, it means they don't trust themselves, right? But you, in order to do anything in life, you have to trust yourself, because if you don't, you're going to be at the mercy of your mind games or the mercy of your survival and profit, and both of those things together, it's a lot of pain and a lot of misery, right? To just be playing mind games with yourself and with people, or mind games people play on you, or to just be in survival and profit, where you just kind of, all you know how to do is like grab a piece of meat and eat it, and grab more piece of meat and eat it, right? So that's not what we want. We want that cohesion, because we want you to be more functioning from I trust myself, rather than, right, I am playing a game with myself in a very sort of destructive and disruptive way, right? Or I'm just surviving through profit and not really feeling the riches of my soul. So look at this hypnosis. Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Niname, Akame, Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Niname, Akame, Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Niname, Kame, Gobinde, Mukande, Udare, Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Niname, Kame, Gobinde, Mukande, Rade, 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 Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Name, Kame, Gobinde, Mukande, Rade, Apare, Hariyang, Kariyang, Niname, 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 Kame. Inhale. Squeeze, root lock, tuck in the chin, press the tongue in the upper palate, sip of more air through the nose. Hold it, the palm face back. Hold it into your navel. Exhale. Take a moment, feel that adjustment. Still look at the tip of the nose. Feel that adjustment. Hear it ringing through your ear and feel it like in the throat. Feel that kind of movement as you swiping out, like swipe out this black goo that blocking the channel of your authentic expression. So I'm gonna have our hands like this. I'm gonna have it here at the navel. So the fingers are touching, but the palm, right? The palm is not touching. So it looks like this, right? So the palm is not touching, but the fingers are touching. I'm putting it here at the navel, right? So this is very good posture. You can hold this even for 11 minutes. If you're having some sort of navel imbalance, right? Insecurity worth taking action. You have an inability to take action with something. You don't trust yourself to take the right action. And you lack luster, right? You lack courage, charisma, grit, and you're feeling a little bit sort of stale or stagnant or kind of aloof, as well as if you're feeling like you lack physical energy, like vital energy or physical energy to actually make a move. Close your eyes and just hold this position. Really press the fingers together, but the palms don't press. So what you're doing is you're really putting into your navel this sort of mental balance, right? Again, same breath. Satanama, satanama. On the inhale, hold for 2 seconds. The exhale, satanama, satanama. Hold for 2 seconds and repeat. So it should feel like an oceanic flow from the perineum all the way to the top of the head into the aura, like you're spilling out pranic wind throughout the entire aura. And then you're allowing it from the top of the head to pour back down, this pranic wind to pour down your spinal cord back into your perineum, right? Your breath should feel that sort of impactful on your entire system. So you're bringing all of the cosmos into your navel, which basically you're giving your navel a lot of wealth, right? A lot of knowledge. So you're connecting the pinky, you're connecting the ring, the middle finger, the index finger, the thumb. So basically you're connecting the think of it like the solar system that we're in, right? So the pinky represents the Mercury, right, which is about communication. The ring represents the sun and the Venus energy. And we think of the middle finger as the Saturn. We think of the index finger as Jupiter, and the thumb is very much like the ego, right? So we're connecting it to both hemispheres of the brain and kind of connecting it in cohesion within the navel to really help us have command over the elements and command over the solar system, so that we can use the solar system, the elements, in our advantage instead of in our exhaustion. So just kind of focus on your aura. Focus on the color of your aura, or if you have a color in your heart space and your mind space that you would like your aura to be, kind of paint it into your aura, right? So let's say you're wanting to cultivate love, so you visualize green or pink, so you can paint that in your aura. Let's say if you want red, you want to be a builder, a manifester, you want to make things happen for yourself, then paint red in your aura, right? Or blue if you need to express yourself, you need to take back your power and then say what you need to say, right? Without fear or anxiety or grief, then paint it blue. Just really focus on that aura all around you and focus on that navel, which that navel is like orange, right? Very, very orange energy. It's like a furnace. So really focus that you're harmonizing the furnace, right? It's good to have a lot of heat in your body. It's good to have, to be a hothead, right? When we say a hothead, usually it's somebody who has a very powerful navel, right? Hothead, meaning they just have so much fire, right? They're passionate. They can be a little bit impulsive. It just means that they have a lot of fire in their furnace. They have a lot of warmth in their navel, which means if they direct that, they can actually be extremely creative, and they're most likely a manifester. I'm talking about builder, right? An executive, a CEO, a manager, right? The ones who build the thing, right, from the ground up. The hotheads usually are the ones who usually will do it. They will build it even all on their own, right? Because they have so much energy, right? So it's just a matter of fact of just concentrating that energy, right? That hothead towards what is constructive. Because a hothead who doesn't have that navel balance, such as what we're creating now, that hothead, it can spill off into all kinds of reactions, but those reactions never really lead to anything that's actually helpful for them. right? Until you learn to really harness that power, that hothead, right? That furnace of all this fire that's inside of you, and you really learn how to concentrate it and unify it and use it, project it, broadcast it towards something that's extreme, like a vision or a goal or a creative pursuit. Because those people who are hotheads, who have a goal or something they want to realize within their life, usually they tend to have a lot of powerhouse within their subject of interest, meaning they really have a lot of sort of enthusiasm about it, right? They tend to do it. Well, those people who have hothead and they have no vision, no goal, right? um, no sort of concentration or ability to focus, that hothead tends to just spill out like a hose with holes in it, right? It doesn't, it just kind of sprays everywhere, and it kind of doesn't really get anything done, right? It's like, I want to water this bush, but my hose has holes in it, so I'm not watering the bush. I'm watering myself and everything around me except the bush, right? So, so this is wonderful. Do this 11 minutes a day. If you really feel like you're a hothead or you have no energy, right? Meaning you have no heat in your furnace, meaning you're cold, meaning you are very lethargic, or you're very nostalgic, or you can't, you're a procrastinator, and you're cold, meaning you can't move. You're like stone, right? You're just kind of in limbo, or you're just not doing anything, right? You're just kind of chilling in a cold room, just waiting around, right? So this is good to bring out that heat, right? As well as if you have a lot of heat and too much heat, it's also good to kind of concentrate that heat towards like what it is I want to build, and how can I use all my energy for that, instead of just kind of, feeding these reactions and these habits and behaviors that are kind of just spilling out my fire in ways that are kind of wasting, right? Wasting that energy. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale, sort of like shake it off, or sort of like shake your fingers, because you've been doing a lot with your hands, so kind of like move that chi of your hands. There's a lot of kind of energy, heat moving like through this whole hand, so just kind of like shake the hands up and down through the top of the head all the way down, right? Because again, you create a lot of heat in the palms, because we've been using our hands for almost everything, right? So really shake out the hands, really like you're shaking into your body, into your energy space, right? This shaking up your aura, shaking up your psyche. So just go up and down, like you're shaking out your psyche. You're distributing this healing energy throughout your entire psyche, right? Think of this psyche you're connecting with. You have an inner psyche, you have an environmental psyche, and you have a landscape psyche, which the psyche, that landscape is about the psyche of planet Earth. Environment is like psyche of my mom and my dad and my caretakers and my sex partners and all that kind of stuff. And then the inner psyche is like your childhood psyche, right? Which has to do with your first sort of touch of what's going on Earth, right? Your childhood experience. So we're kind of shaking out sort of that psyche, just through like kind of shaking the hands like this, kind of shaking out the psyche. Again, when your psyche is aligned and clear, meaning you're not carrying like trauma of the childhood in your inner psyche, you're not carrying environmental psyche such as like burdens, right? Just dead weight in, or your landscape psyche, which has to do with your has to do with kind of the thoughts and beliefs you're putting into yourself from whatever religion, ideology, or background you come from. Right? When you really kind of liberate all that, like literally when we liberate, we dance, we shake our body, right? You have a clear psyche, so therefore you can start to use that psyche, which is your ultimate intuition, to really intuitively get going in a more constructed direction rather than a earthbound sort of direction, right? Because you are very celestial, and you yourself have the planetary system of 12 planetary systems, that including Earth. Earth is not just an Earth system. Earth actually has 12 other planetary systems in collaboration with Earth. So our genetic code is actually, our DNA is much older than the planet itself. Meaning our genetic code, our DNA actually was developed off-world, and then it came to planet Earth and began to develop itself according to this planetary demand. So what that means is we do have 12, think of it like 12 zodiac, right? Including Earth. And these planetary systems all have their sort of inclusion in when it comes to the making of the mandala of planet Earth, right? So the mandala of planet Earth is kind of summed up in one word, right? A Sanskrit word, and that is karuna. And it means basically compassion, right? Compassion is, in order for these 12 zodiacs, right, these 12 planetary systems to come together, right, including Earth, there had to be compassion, or it would all went to mayhem. We would all fight each other, we'd all kill each other's throats, or we would all been like completely in disarray. So Karuna is how Earth came to be, and the agreement, the contract or the treaty all of these planetary systems have, that is about compassion, right? It's about justice to compassion, meaning every living thing is to excel. That's what compassion is, all right? Regardless of, they are to excel, but compassion means that there is no sort of like attacking or destroying or dumbing each other down or enslaving each other, right? There is a balance of the scales in compassion. So it's not just, light and love. It's about also justice when it comes to these darker, more enslaving energies. So very, very interesting. So just a couple more seconds of just shaking it up and down. That energy, distributing that healing energy throughout the entire system. Okay, and then inhale, bring it up to the ear. Do you feel something tingling in between your fingers? I do. And just like hold it here and just kind of let it kind of come towards your face like this, and just kind of let the heat of your tingling of the fingers and the palm to kind of just like feel it in the corner of your eye, kind of healing your face and healing you're putting this on your body, you're putting this on yourself. You're taking care of yourself. You're healing yourself. Again, long, deep breathing. Just close your eyes and relax and just feel this healing energy coming down on you. Kind of like fall a little like asleep. Like literally there's a lot of Reiki energy being created now. So let it happen. You'll feel heat on your face, or you'll feel heat in your body. You'll just feel this heat, and even in your throat, wherever it is, just let yourself feel this heat. It means that you're literally using the heat of the energy, the chi of your palms, that you generate a lot of chi in the hands, and you're literally putting it into your space, right? You're wanting to heal. We're giving us like a self Reiki to repair and rejuvenate, regenerate anything that needs to be refined, amplified, and restored. And just focus on nature, like trees. So earth element. Focus on earth element. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands down. Tia Mudra on your knees, your thighs, and just take a moment to feel kind of that healing that you just did for your body mind system. So just kind of like feel it. You can rest, you can relax, just kind of feel it, kind of you're soaking up. This meditation is really good at repairing the subtle body, right? Because everything comes in through the subtle body. Like the soul essence, the authentic code, or celestial DNA, it all does kind of, it comes through the subtle energy. So when the subtle body it lacks energy, right? Pranic wind, or the subtle body is kind of like in a cage, like a bird cage. It's hard for us to really fly out, right? We can say, and grab and get the wisdom, the knowledge we need, right? Because subtle body is usually before our physical body moves, our subtle body is already moving, right? So before we actually change jobs, our subtle body is already at the new job, right? Are already out there kind of flying around, right? This dimension, this earth, and like seeking a new job before our conscious mind has like, I want to get a new job, or right, it's the time for the next step. The subtle body is already sort of designing and blueprinting like the next step before our conscious mind is ever like thinking about, oh, I'm gonna move to France, right, or something like that, right? Or before our mind's even doing that, our subtle body's already kind of there, right? And we get visions, or we have psychic insight, or we have dreams of like just little crumbs, like clues, right? Such as we see the Alpha Tower 4 years before we actually go to France, and we have this major encounter that brings about this other encounter, right? So, but our subtle body is flying in our dreams. It reveals to us the knowledge it gains through its flying through this planet, also and through other planetary systems. So our subtle body as well is flying through other planetary systems, and we can have dreams of these Pleiadian sort of instruments, or Pleiadian sort of lifestyle, or clothing, or appearance, and we're like, whoa, where did that come from? It's because our subtle body is already kind of there, right? Because our subtle body is bigger than our aura, right? It's huge, right? It's very, very omega, and it can be a lot of places, right? A lot of places. And it kind of comes together in dreams, but it comes together like hieroglyphic, right? And the way that it's light language, it's encoded, but it's also very elusive, and it needs to be interpreted, and it needs to be like downloaded, like the key, right, on how to read this, whatever this hieroglyphics code is, right? So it's very elusive, but it can be deciphered through like your intuition, like hieroglyphics of your dream state, like light language, where you see symbols and codes and colors and patterning and shapes and all that. It can be deciphered, but it's through your intuition. It's through your intuitive knows the universe, and the subtle body knows the universe. It knows everything about any light language, either that be a Pleiadian, Arcturian, Syrian, Egyptian, right? Your subtle body literally, if it needs to know that language, it will fly out and it will learn it, and then it will come back to you in your dream or meditation, or when you're just walking your dog, and it'll literally give you that, whoa, all of a sudden you wanted to learn Spanish, right? And you were struggling, but now all of a sudden it's like coming like click, 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 because your subtle body went out. It already has kind of soaked up that culture, that language, and now it's returned back to you, and it's kind of like giving you that sort of whatever it's soaked up, right? To help you in whatever sort of intention you have for this life. It's very, very interesting. Like for myself in learning Spanish, it was very much like I was already just deciphering something I already knew. But it just took a lot of sort of intuitive awakening to, oh, that I'm just deciphering something that I've already kind of know, but I haven't, in this life, haven't developed, right? So thank you for joining me, and may this help you on your journey in this incarnation and in other planetary systems and other places of life, right? Because a part of the yogi practice is yogic science is a technology not just for this life but also for traveling to other planetary systems, other places, right? And in being able to leave your body, right, and come into new life, right? Because it's easy to die, as we know on planet Earth, but to come into new life is actually more challenging. It's more painful to be born than it is to die. Death is very easy, but to be born is more of a challenge, right? To leave your body and to go into another reality existence, right? For example, if you create all this poverty around yourself in 1, 2, 3 incarnations, it's very difficult to come from that poverty into all of a sudden the next life you want to have prosperity. So this technology is a way for us to really be a master of our own reality, so that if we are in poverty incarnation, right, or find ourselves in that sort of trench, we have the sort of technology or the mastery to be able to change our reality, right? So we're no longer bound, or we're no longer caught, right, in the undercurrent of whatever reality that's going on around us, right? We don't get caught. We know how to swim, right? We know how to swim against it. We know how to create our own sort of current that can beat it. And that's why we create these sort of powerful auric fields from life to life as yogis, so that when we do go into future incarnations, we know how to have a current that actually is a stronger current than the undercurrent, which is the poverty and the belief and the da da da, and then the da 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 and all that kind of stuff, that really, the undercurrent really pulls you into something that maybe you shouldn't be, like a, what do you call, like a undertow or riptide, where it kind of just looping and you're kind of like just kind of stuck there, sort of thing, right? Because there are realities such of that on this planet Earth, and other planets as well, right? So yes, I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you.